Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, that's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides and the universal energies. In case you haven't guessed, I'm going to use the Lightseers Tarot. My guides drew me all the way over there to pick this one up. Entertainment only. Okay, what I want to have a look at, there's a lot of news coming out. Apparently the Orange Twerp hasn't paid the demolition company in regards to the East Wing. No surprises there. It's just his modus operandi. I would put money on him having pocketed the donations personally and leaving the mess for the taxpayer to pick up. Okay, what do I want to have a look at this particular? Oh, first the typhoon in the Philippines. Yeah, climate change. It's horrific. Typhoon heading for Vietnam at the moment. We just had the one in the Caribbean as well. Oh gosh, just what is happening is worldwide is actually quite horrific. However, Mackenzie Scott apparently has come out. This is the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, worth billions, but has come out and donated quite substantial funds to replenish the Amazon rainforest. I did read forever ago on De Silva and got him being elected and him stopping logging in the Amazon and turning around and restoring the Amazon rainforest. And the Amazon rainforest is the lungs and the Congo are the lungs of the earth. There's no denying that, we need a healthy planet to survive. The planet doesn't need us. It would probably be quite happy if humanity went. But yeah, Mackenzie Scott's donated significant amounts. So just saying, there are good billionaires out there, I believe. I think it was a Swedish billionaire also bought a logging company in the Amazon and immediately closed it down, bought the land and the company and immediately closed it down and is replenishing that area as well. And Billie Eilish, boy, she came out and didn't she give... what's his name? Zuckerberg, a bit of a stir that he found very, very uncomfortable. So, yeah, there are good ones out there. Just sadly, there's some nefarious as well. Okay, but what I want to have a look at, COP30 is underway in Brazil. It is about the discussion of climate change and trying to come up with targets. I believe Gavin Newsom has gone because the Orange Twerp said he's not going, he's not attending. I don't think he's capable of attending, actually, regardless of his beliefs. And so Gavin Newsom has gone in his stead. Now, this is very much about a fight between the fossil fuel industries, which are big donors to the Orange Twerp and the regime, the massive energy users of AI technology, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, stable currency, etc. And there's a topic I want to have a look at on there too in a separate reading. Massive energy users. And what happens is that, what's happening if you're finding your energy bill is going up in any of these countries where they've got these big AI or regions, they've got these big AI warehouses, there's no other way to put it, massive, hectares big, it's because you're subsidizing them. And the fossil fuel industry and the nuclear industry, but the fossil fuel industry pouring massive amounts into propaganda and disinformation about renewable energy because they don't want people to have control over their own energy production, storage and usage. So if you've got solar panels on your roof and you have a battery on your wall and you use your house is entirely electric, then you are producing your own energy, you are storing your own energy, and you are using your own energy. Don't even need a battery on the wall. You can get electric vehicles nowadays that you can plug in that work as batteries as well. So I'm just putting it out there. This is why there's this huge propaganda against climate change, against acknowledging climate change, and against renewable energy. Because if you're producing your own, storing your own, using your own, so therefore you are off the network pretty much, you are not subsidizing these high users and they actually have to find a way to produce their own energy. So I'm just putting that out there. That's my feels, and that's how my guides link the dots. So entertainment only, and I want to have a look at the COP30. Now, both Colombia and Chile have come out flat out and straight barefaced to the media, have said that the orange twerp is a liar. We know that. Apparently, Colombia have reported Rubio, Hegseth, and the orange twerp to the ICC in regards to blowing up fishermen for crimes against humanity in the Caribbean. Brazil didn't actually name him, but it was pretty obvious who they were talking about when they're talking about the fake news of the regime. So again, the world's coming out and saying absolutely that no allies, mate. You've got no allies around the world except for those that have alternative, ulterior motives because they are heavily based in fossils. Now, China's not attending. China just does its own thing, always has. China thinks in terms of hundreds of years, not a 3 or 4 year election cycle like a lot of the world does. So they're not there. They just China has installed more renewable capability in the last year than the rest of the world put together. They are absolutely streaming forward, and they really don't care what the rest of the world come up with. They're doing their own thing. Russia apparently didn't attend. Russia's economy is incredibly fossil fuel based. However, that's proving to be a problem because Ukraine apparently has taken out a lot of the fossil fuel energy production facilities in Russia, which meant that Moscow has pretty much been shut down. Subways have been the subways closed down. There are trains that are caught underground. The lighting's gone off. The whole vast swathes of the city have basically been taken out because of their reliance on the fossil fuel producing electricity facilities. Okay. India also hasn't attended. I think sort of India, it's a bit of an unknown at the moment. India's going through a transition from the pre-fossil to the post-fossil, and they're sort of trying to skip over the fossil fuel stage. But, they're still very reliant on the Russian fossil fuels. Okay, however, COP30, unity, coming together, solutions, new beginning. We are on a new journey. We are in uncharted waters and new beginning. Absolutely. This is about unity. This is about diversity. This is looking to the future. Great, great, great cards. Okay, I am just going to quick shuffle, put those down, hands off, pause you for a second. I think I heard my phone buzz. I am on grandma duties this afternoon, so let's see how we go. Hang on. Okay, yes, I'm being summoned on grandma duty, so this will be a little bit of a quick reading. And as I split the deck, the Eight of Cups, letting go of what emotionally is not working and moving on. So I'm actually feeling really positive about this COP30. Pariah is the word I'm getting. Those that are refusing to acknowledge and refusing to attend are going to be pariahed. I am going to do it. I just very quickly mentioned so that if you're interested, I will be back later on after grandma duties to have a look at. I'm going to put it out there that I think the orange twerp, instead of Nigeria, he was meaning Niger. In regards to something interesting that's happening over in Africa, but I'll come back to that. Okay, cards that have popped out. Desperately trying to hang on to status quo. The moneyed elements, the ones that have invested heavily in fossils, get support from fossils, etc., really don't care if the rest of the world turns into desert. For them, it's all about money, 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 money. What money can I get into my wallet? Can't eat money, can't drink money, can't breathe money. I hate to tell you. The Temperance card. The times are changing. and a rebalancing is here. I think just people are awake. There is an element quite often driven by bots and trolls paid that are putting out the propaganda about renewables. Very noisy minority. The rest of us are just getting about our business and doing it. So we've got here desperate, don't care if the rest of the world turns into a desert as long as they got the money in their pocket. Trying to spin the propaganda. However, it's also very much about COP30 is about finding a balance. The governments have come together. There is no easy path to the solution. There are steps that need to be taken, but they are seriously at the table looking at all the options that are available. So I'm actually feeling really positive. Now, the next card was the Devil card, the seduction of the same old that will lead to nothing but despair. So don't fall for this devil, because he does not provide a path forward. He does not provide a solution. We've got the greatest minds in the world are going to be working on this. And no, there are still steps to be taken. This is not an overnight solution. That's part of the propaganda of this. They're going, oh, it failed because it didn't happen that night. No, this is long-term stuff, but we do need to start the action towards it. And the greatest minds in the world are looking at these options. And I think there's new technologies going to come out. Okay, where do I go with this? Right, we've got this high priestess, those with hidden agendas versus those with a higher intuition about what's happening. Those with hidden agendas are going to try and create smoke and mirrors, snake in the path, the rat lies, the bat toxicity, to try and prevent seeing the path forward. There is an obvious path forward, but there will be this throwing of, smoke and mirrors and delusion and confusion and untruths and lies and propagandas to try and prevent the people understanding this path forward. There is going to be a solution offered, and it is going to be seen and heard. Okay, so where do I go with this? Let's have a look. Okay, COP30. What is the star of hope and healing, but also the connection to the stars. Now, our sun is a star, holding on to the connection to the stars. A lot of countries that have invested in renewables are now reporting that there are good, solid days where they are producing more than the country's using. And it's happening over and over as more and more countries come online. Okay, so let's have a look. COP30. What's going to come out of COP30 in Brazil? I do see, and I saw for a while that De Silva, turning around the regeneration of the Amazon, but I did say at the time, I think it was about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it would take a while. It's like trying to turn the Titanic type thing. It's not going to hit the iceberg. May clip the iceberg, but I think what's going to happen is that the flood shutters are going to hold. Come on down, let's have a look. COP30. The Hanged Man, looking at things differently. Absolutely. The leaders of the world will be looking at the situation differently, as there is no denying that climate change is causing the shifting of the ocean currents, the warm, everything is unprecedented at the moment. Every year is a record year. There's no denying it. you can't have record year after record year after record year and expect things to remain the same. So looking at the situation, looking at what is required differently, the second signifier here is the Judgment card, facing judgment. Absolutely. Yeah, there is a collective awakening about this situation. At the bottom, the Page of Pentacles, it will take money. It always takes money. But hey, if you tax anyone, earning over 500 million a year, tax them an extra 10%, I think you might have the money to do it, to be honest. But at the moment, it comes down to money. In the past, we've got the inspirational action being taken with strength at his back. So there are ideas and plans being put forward. Inspirational. Crowning the energy, though, we do have this Devil. The seduction of the same old, which appears very lucrative because change is scary, and so often it's just easier to fall into the same old ways. But 150 years ago, the concept of a light bulb was pretty much unknown. Now we've got, what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 3 light bulbs going around me at the moment. The unknown is very scary. It's very seductive to fall into the routine of the same and not change. This is what is hanging over it at the moment. The idea, even 100 years ago, of every household having 2 motor vehicles. No, only the uber wealthy had motor vehicles, and you had to buy your fuel down at the chemist. But now it's, the concept of the car was created when there was steam engines and horse and cart was standard. Change is inevitable. Change is the only constant, but it is scary. So the energy over this is the fear of change, the seduction of the same old, same old. However, we have the world coming together, bringing an end to a cycle. Now, even the Saudis, one of the biggest oil producing countries in the world, is massively investing in renewables. They can read the writing on the wall. So either the rest of the world gets on board or you get left behind at the station, because this cycle of relying on fossil fuels is ending. Doesn't mean fossils won't have a place, especially when it comes to heavy machinery during the transition. Again, it's not a switch overnight. It's a transition period. Doesn't mean you can't have your burble car. It just means that you'll have to pay, possibly at the chemist, for the fuel for it, and it will only be taken out once a month on Sundays or something. The era of fossils is coming to an end. The Knight of Wands, the message is getting out there. The drum is being played about the heating of the world, and it is being heard. It is a volatile message that's being heard internally. We've got we, the people, but this is also the diplomats, the moderators, the negotiators, the calm at the table. You can imagine how horrific it'd be. Yes, that was Spotty Dog, his little ear poking out there. You can imagine how horrific it would have been if the orange twerp had turned up. This is mature negotiators and diplomats around the table as this volatile message is getting out there. Powerful message is getting out there. Okay, the Four of Swords, it's about healing. It's about a need to retreat. Gosh, remember during COVID when we were all locked down and had to stay at home to work, etc., and the planet started healing and they had dolphins in the Venice canals and you could actually see the Himalayas from Mumbai, or is it called Mumbai nowadays? I'm just trying to think. These cities in India where, the Himalayas hadn't been seen for decades due to the smog. Yeah, this is about healing, retreat and healing. Okay, the outcome, very much at a crossroads position. Again, very much at so 2 twos, crossroads positions. Legal crossroads, action crossroads. can either stay and do the same old with this result where we're probably going to be forced to stay inside because the planet outside will become uninhabitable, or we can get out and do. And actions, absolutely. The Justice card, drawing the Sword of Truth, and actions that are taken at this COP30 will have consequences. And then we've got the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, Queen of Cups, the feminine power, frantically working away under the water, but also bringing forth these solutions. And we don't need to have all the answers right now with the Chariot card. Work it out as we bloody well go along. There's no miraculous all of a sudden, click the fingers and there's acres or hectares of wind turbines or anything like that. It's one wind turbine at a time. This is the card about just do it, start the journey, and work out how the bloody hell you're going to do it as you go along, because we are at this new beginning energy where it comes from heart source, where it comes through new partnerships, where it comes through unity. It is about letting go of the old ways with this Ten of Swords and stepping over the horizon into this new. I feel really good about this COP30. I think there's going to be big things that come out. There's a lot of anxiety in regards to the current situation, but they're going to leave the emotions behind and what is not working and walk towards the new beginning. There's going to be a period of contemplation and bringing forth of ideas, and then the journey is set upon with that Hermit card. Yeah. The next one is the grief card. The grief, the anguish, the despair at what is happening to our planet. Absolutely. I'm just going to put it there. Broader horizons with the Three of Wands are coming together with the Three of Cups, the Queen of Swords looking towards the future in an unemotional manner, very technically minded, the giving and receiving of help. So this is more about countries coming together and wealthy countries helping out not so wealthy countries. The opportunity is there. It is about unfurling and unlocking the door and taking advantage of the opportunities that are on offer, instead of burying their head in the sand with the same old. There will be some that just simply that refuse to come along on this journey because for them it's too terrifying. But either get on board or get left behind with that Six of Swords, because we are moving forward, technologically minded, a lot of information coming out, and a Tower moment where the status quo is torn down, it is transformative, and something new is coming forth. So yeah, I'm actually really just don't worry about the propaganda. I'm feeling really positive about about this COP30. I think there's going to be some really good things that come out of it. Again, it won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Okay, love to you all. I'm off for grandma duties, and couple of hours I'll be back for another reading. Catch you later. Bye-bye.